This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Stellaris Empires. And we are right back where we left off here on the Empire creation screen. And before I go into today's Empire, I'd like to remind everyone to please help me out if you can. I just need you to click the thumbs up button, maybe even click the subscribe button. These buttons are free to click, and it really helps me out, and I greatly appreciate it when people do. Now let's get on to this Empire. Alright, so today is a very special one. We're going with the Origin Cybernetic Creed, which this is very exciting because very recently they added in a bunch of the cybernetic ships, the cybernetic voice, the cybernetic creed, and I had to do it. And of course, to get the names and all that, we'll go into the story. But let's go. So first things first is in appearance. Once I figured out the theming and all that, the wisdom of this was obvious. So I went with the avian race of owls. And this is one of the newer ones, and you can actually see them get more and more cybered up. Additionally, because of the owls, who I went and named these after my excellent friend Amaranth, or Mara for short. And yeah, she's a fan of owls, and so we're going to go with that. Which is why their species is the Amaranth. Or, if there's multiple of them, the Amaranthi. Gender female, because my friend Amaranth is amazing. Name list, easy peasy. We went with Cyberpunk. There's only the one, but good golly, are these fun. And once you start getting into it, it'll feel right. Trust me on this one, it's great. Now, let's get into some traits. This is one of those empires where you're going to want a slow burn at the start, but once you meet the tipping point, everything is going to hit the floor. So, with docile and slow breeders, our population can spread freely. This isn't the Origin where you can't reproduce, so we can and will. And with adaptive, we plan on spreading. Just at the start, we want to kind of hold off just a little bit, have a little bit of patience, and then there's a great big reward. So while we're doing the build-up phase, you want docile and slow breeder will help you out a lot. And for those who don't like my focus on empire size, I do that so things keep going faster. However, should you want to change things up, like replace adaptive, then what's the one? This is it. Natural sociologists would work just fine. But I think adaptive is going to work even better. Alright. I went with a tundra world because it looks so good with this cybernetic city tiles. Random solar system, doesn't really matter. Our home world is named Chummer because it takes care of us. And the star is Wiz because it's brilliant. City appearance, we went with the cybernetic city. This is one of the new tile sets, and I think it looks really good. I love the big, blocky, chunky angularness, especially compared to the new robot or machine city. But yeah, this looks really, really good. Alright. Cybernetic Creed blocks all ascension paths except for cybernetic ascension. This empire pursues a divine calling. The fusion of all exalted body and holy cybernetic augments his worship. So that's pretty cool. The homeworld initial buildings are replaced by Creed infrastructure, the Amphitheater of the Mind, the Forge of the Fellowship, the Battlements of Steel, and the Sanctity of Toil. Cybernetic Creed factions form shortly after the game starts, so the faction influence is going to be a thing you're going to actually actively pay attention to. I don't always, but sometimes it helps. Spiritualist trait. Ritualistic implants. Automatically granted to spiritualist pops, leaders from the species have additional traits and bonuses. They cannot be genetically modified, which makes sense. Alloys, Engineering, and Unity is all up by 5%. Worker Pop Output plus 5%. Army Damage plus 5%. And trait changes with Dormant Cybernetic Creed. So there's a lot of really good traits going on here, and I really, really dig it. Guaranteed research options, Cybernetic Implants, which increases the habitability even further, and Cybernetic Creed priesthood jobs. Priests are replaced by Haruspecs, High Priests are replaced with Technophants, which, cool. So, we have to be spiritualist, we cannot be egalitarian, we cannot have death cults, permanent employment, natural design, or machinery. So, short list of do nots. The most is not egalitarian, but I get why. Alright, so for our ethics, I went with fanatic spiritualists. That monthly unity is going to be key. We're going to really want that. And I also went with pacifist. Stability good. Empire size from pops being down is good. And this will help carry us into the mid-game a little bit longer, along with the traits we picked. But I can definitely see why some people would want to have other traits. Authoritarian's pretty nice with that worker pop output. But I think pacifist is the best choice here. I also went with dictatorial because of the pop amenities usage down 2%. It's not a lot, but it's something. And ruler experience gains up 25% is also quite nice. As for our civics, I went with exalted priesthood. To guard against heresy, this society is ruled by a religious council consisting of the wisest and most pious members of the clergy. Capitol buildings replace some politician jobs with technophants. Unity from Hospecs is up +1, and if we get our council positions sorted, the Hospecs upkeep is down 2%, which is good. More unity, that's our goal. And then I also went with Ascensionists. The ultimate goal of this empire is to ascend ever greater levels of fulfillment. And to me, this feels really good. You get your planets off to a better start. The planetary ascension effects are up 25%. Planetary ascension cost is down %, and tradition cost from empire size is down 25%. Tradition cost is the main thing that I keep trying to reduce our empire size for. So this works out so good. Plus, we shall ascend by becoming more cybered up, and I kind of love that. Alright, advisor voice, the cyberpunk, which sounds great, by the way.
We've got augmentations that haven't even hit the black market yet. Safety tests are for cowards. Let's get you wired.
Yeah. Alright. We went with the Amaranth Divine Order. It's beautiful. Alright, with the flag, I again went into something that's relatively new. The background I picked is this here. It's this lovely checkered thing going on. You know, you're cut up into pieces. And then I went with a corporate design because it is also cut up into pieces. And there's this, you know, upward arrow thing, so we wish to ascend. And I feel this is a really great representation of being cybered up, personally. Not necessarily a fan of corporate things, but you know how it is. And of course, with this flag's color selected, we get this tremendously beautiful gray-silver on these ship sets, and just look at these things. God, I could stare at them all day. I mean, look at this Titan. Look at this Titan. Our little construction ship. He's all fat and squat. Get big old thrusters. I love him. Colony ship. Look. How could you not love this? And our science ship with the floating orb. The orb of contemplation. We must contemplate the orb. Yeah, just look at this tile set. It is just gorgeous. And, oh, hello, Juggernaut. Look at you. Look at you. Yeah. I really, really love the super well-lit portions here. It gives it just beautiful contrast to space. Alright. Starting ruler, I went with Ren Mirage because it was what the random name generator said, and I really like it. Alright, so color variant, I went with 3 of 3 because while all are nice, and I really could dig one, it felt like it was too much, and I like this just hint of gold. It helps with the Art Deco room design that we got going on. Clothing, same deal, but I really wanted to match the flag, so black and gray, which is, I think the clothing is where I picked the colors from. And the one thing they added in is this evolution stage, so we can see them getting more and more cybered up. And of course, we're starting the game, so we're going to start here. And when we interact, this is how we sound. Just kind of a quick little bird noise, which is quite polite. And for a ruler trait, I went with a scientist and spark of genius because science is good. It helps us progress the game. Research speed 3%, not a huge game changer, but considering what the other ones are, you know, the only other thing I would rather go with is maybe logistic understanding is to keep our dock ship upkeep down, but Spark of Genius progresses us forward, and since these guys have a technological bend, I felt that was more appropriate. So, let's get into the game, and I can show you what I do to start this off and get you on the right foot. Our sublime calling is the unification of flesh and machine. Our history is replete with failed attempts, yet guided by the divine will. We now have achieved the first stage of sacred symbols within our futuristic implants. We have only begun to touch our boundless cybernetic potential. More advanced augmentations are yet to come. Despite this, our faith stands divided, with compelling creeds disputing the end goals of sacred augmentation. Once we answer this question, the perfect union of holy flesh and blessed technology will allow us to improve upon the limited designs of evolution. To fuse is divine, augmentation is worship. Oh yeah, these owls are badass, and I'm really excited. So, as usual, just take your choice of what you want to do, and in this case, we also have the option of taking integrated cybernetics. One thing I should have done, but didn't do when I was recording, was to make that the first priority, because it helps move the main story along. Just get out there and do what we can, you know, explore, exploit. That's the, at least 2 of the 4 X's, right? Alright, let's start spreading out, and then we'll get to the next step. As you see, we're 1 month in, and we get our first event change, Cybernetic Creed. Guided by the divines towards the stars, various creeds within our faith now anticipate influence over the government. Each wields considerable sway over the faithful, advocating for their evolution of their members and influential positions and fulfilling their distinct spiritual needs. Only time will reveal if these diverse pressures will bring us closer to the divine or plunge us into chaos. And this is where our factions are formed. Alright, we now have enough unity to get our first traditions. And as you see, the traditions other than cybernetic that are the high-end ones are not there. However, I'm going to hold off until we can pick this up. Alright, now I'm back. I just completed the cybernetic engineering technology, and to continue things further, I must pick up the cybernetics tradition. So we're going to pick that up right now. The agenda cybernetic advantage has been unlocked.
Agenda available. They sure like to keep up appearances.
And as things go on, we're going to need more of these, which is why we've been banking up our unity. Give me just a moment. Okay, I took just a second here, got all of the cybernetics filled in, and each of them gives the situation speed a 5% boost, and as you see now, the conclave of fusion is now at plus 7.9. I have progressed it none whatsoever, but things are going to go real fast real soon. I just finished the major event for the Cybernetic Creed. Now, at several points you had some decisions to make. I made certain ones, but I'm not going to share those with you because there are so many. But the main thing is we now have full citizenship cybernetic traits to share. You got, cybernetics for all, and then ritualistic implants. And there's so many things we can do now. I would, create your own template, go with what you like, and then convert everyone. If you look at the traditions, now they've been retextured. Cyborg upkeep minus 10%, organic species traits plus 1, monthly species special project cost minus 50%, which is great, and augmentations per augmentation center plus 2. So that is a new building they gave us, the augmentation centers, engineering research, amenities, and pop growth speed. Build one of these as soon as you can. They're very good. And with that being said, now you're off to that Cybernetic Creed start. You can get your Ascension perks, start filling out your other traditions, and do what you feel you would like to do. Of course, get those trait points spent, because that's the bread and butter of what you want to do. But now that you know how to start off, just watch the event, get your things set up, and enjoy. And enjoy a lifetime of very high unity and very low costs. And with that being said, here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, you know what to do, and that's to like, comment, watch 3 or 4 more of these, and of course, subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me, and I greatly appreciate everyone who does. And speaking of appreciation, here are those people that went down in the description, looked at my Patreon, and joined up as well. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.